Connie Willis, the podcast. Taking you into new ways of thinking, even providing answers to questions you've often pondered. Connie Willis, the podcast. This is a Connie Willis exclusive. What you're about to hear has never been heard anywhere else. This is Connie Willis, the podcast.
Connie Willis, the podcast. Connie Willis here. Talking with Robert Treat, informant, private military government contractor, U.S. Navy Special Warfare veteran, telling us what he's never supposed to have told, and then some. We started this out as a deathbed confession. He's got a surgery he is going to, and that is that's his ticket to stay with us. So we're going to ask him about that. I just want to remind you to find him at robtreat.com for his blog and updates. You're going to start seeing those, robtreat.com. That's where you can find him. Also, his GoFundMe is still there for the other needs that he's going to have along the way. He'll update you there too. And I want to say thanks for listening to Connie Willis, the podcast. If you'd like to learn more and even see the archived conversation that we had on Blue Rock Talk, you can do that. Just go to conniewillis.com. You'll learn more about what's going on. Even some of the other guests that I'll have here on Connie Willis, the podcast. It's not always going to be Robert. We're just grabbing Robert as much as we can. So let's get back to it. I know, just really quick, the surgery is February 20th?
Yes.
Oof. So do you go in like the 19th to get ready, or is it just, hey, you go in the 20th, bam, they do it, and then you're there for maybe 2-3 months, or?
I need to check in about 5 o'clock, at least an hour ahead to get me into pre-surgery. So when I get there, they'll take me into a room, get me all, situated, the pre-op anesthesia, and then the next thing I know is I'll be waking up and it'll be over with.
You feeling good about it?
I'm scared to death.
Yeah. Everybody's scared going in, but you think you're going to pull out, correct? You feel good about that?
Yeah, I think I feel good about that.
Do you? Okay.
For a good period of time on the table, my heart's not going to be beating and I won't have any blood in my body. I really wonder about what that experience is going to be like.
I have an idea.
It's going to be one of those near-death experiences.
Yeah. And here's the thing, and then I want you to finish telling us all about the surgery, but I do have a feeling that you're going to have that NDA thing and maybe even the Blue Pearl, which I want to talk about that later, not right now, but later. I do believe you're going to be in a position of choosing to stay or not. What are you going to do? Because I think you better make that decision before you go, don't you?
No, I mean, if it was to happen right now, tonight, I can't honestly say that I'd come back.
I know that about you.
So I'm trying real hard to, find a way to be grounded in this reality. Trying to find some happy memories to hold on to. I'm just not finding anything.
And something to look forward to, right? You want to look forward to something. You want to have purpose.
Yeah, having something to look forward to is important. Right now I have my, the girls, the dogs, holding on to them. But deep down inside, I kind of feel like they'd be better off without me, Being stuck in this little apartment all the time, it just makes me feel bad for them.
You've not always been in that situation, though. You've always, been very successful in the past and stuff, so it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen again. Once we finish with all the conversations and you start getting ready for the surgery and you start your blog up, I think, the access of everybody jumping towards you and being able to go direct to you, I think I hope that brings you back some purpose. And I think your animals would totally miss you. You are like, that's who you love.
Yeah, and my doctors, last year they told me I'd be lucky to make it till the end of the year. I'd be lucky. I probably would live to see New Year's Eve.
Without the surgery?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I'm based on their, predictions, I'm, past their drop dead point and on borrowed time. Um, so I've spent the majority of the last year you know, preparing for the end, not preparing to live, not preparing for a future. I've been preparing for the casket. And, now thanks to, everyone's help, we had a chance to change that situation. And, I'm in the mental habit of, like not thinking about the future. I'm like, okay, so, you know, I had not made any plans past New Year's Day, if you know what I mean. And then, a couple of weeks before the end of the year, that's when everything changed. Uh, so now I feel very um, confused and unsettled.
Well, that's
Uh,
good. It's better than that you're just going to totally give up. That means you still have hope to pass, to move forward. You just
okay.
haven't found that purpose. Is that right? I mean, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm getting from you.
Yeah, it's like, okay, now there's a good chance I'm gonna survive. I'm gonna live. So now what? I didn't make any plans for now what.
That's good. It'll be a clean slate. You can go from there.
So I'm thinking like, okay, great. What am I gonna do for a living? I sold my car, sold my truck. I was like, well, when I get out, now I don't have a vehicle to go find a job. When I come out of the surgery, I'm gonna be really, really behind the eight ball, and I know something will happen. Something will,
It will. I absolutely
universe,
think so. Yeah. Yeah.
the universe makes a way. Um,
There's too many people out there that want to help you, and we're going to get to their questions here. Yeah, but I'm going to continue to ask you about, what's your will when you get into that point where you're in that somewhere else in the universe when your body stops for those minutes, what you're going to do. Because if
yeah,
you don't already know that going in and stay committed, you know, 'cause when you get there, it's going to be wonderful. You're going to go, I'm staying here.
yeah. I mean, I've always lived my life, ever since I was a little kid, with a very strong sense of purpose. Like I knew what I was,
Yeah.
what I was going to do, and how I was going to, conduct my life. And that now that self-assured me is gone. Trying to find him again is difficult.
Well, it's a limited time here anyway. So you can also look at it as, hey, all these people helped me to get through this. Let me get through this. They showered me with love and financing, and let me get through this. Thank them. And a new slate, it's limited time anyway here on Earth. So, hey, let me enjoy Earth into the future. I'm just thinking I just think something's going to come along just from some of the people listening to you, by the way. I don't know why. Maybe, I don't know. What are the things that you would enjoy anyway that people can think about that you would even be able to do or help? I'm thinking, what if people have a horse farm or something like that? Would you be able to go, hey, look, let me help out at the farm, or do you want to do business type things? Are you, because I
Um,
know your intelligence and I know you like computers and stuff like that.
yeah, there's very little that I can't do. Um, I
What
know
do
that
you,
sounds arrogant, but it's
yeah,
it's true. Like
you arrogant, no good piece of, I am turning you off. uh, what do you enjoy? Let's put it that way.
I mean, what I enjoy most is helping other people, and in like I said earlier, I'm still able to communicate with my alien family, or whatever we want to call them, and I know what they want from me, what they would like from me. Um, but as with everything with these extraterrestrials, they never tell you how. They tell you what, but they don't answer the important things. It's kind of like figure it out for yourself. um,
But you said you know why.
yeah,
Bring it on, Connie. Learn more about Connie, her guests, and join her private membership shows, Blue Rock Talk and Connie After Dark, at ConnieWillis.com.
Welcome back to Connie Willis, the podcast. Almost said coast to coast that time. Sorry. It happens sometimes. I pulled up 16 years ago some radio stations I was working at before, and I'm like, did I just do that? I've done that on coast before. It was horrible. I mean, it was kind of funny because I think we can all relate to it, anybody else in radio. But you're listening to Connie Willis, the podcast, Phase 2 series with Robert Treat, informant, private military government contractor, U.S. Navy Special Warfare veteran. Catch him at robtreat.com. All right, so you were, we're skipping through everything here, talking about the surgery and making sure you have purpose on the other end. But then you say, you're like, why am I here? The aliens know. And then you said that you do know why you're here. That was the last question we came out of, right? They told you.
Oh yeah, I mean, from their purposes, they're collecting information through me and many others, but they want us to have an effect on our surroundings as well. But I think with, I would say all hybrids, or at least most of us, nobody listens to us. It's always like an "I told you so" moment. Even people who know me in real life, that I tell them something's going to happen and it happens, and they're spooked out by it. They think I'm some kind of psychic. I'm like, I'm not a psychic. It's just obvious what's going to happen next. And I guess some people refer to that as the Akashic records, which is really not any such thing. It's something very different.
Oh man, see all these new questions come up because I know people that swear by those. But let's get to that at another time here, because I want to make sure we get some of the other things. But I've noted that the Akashic records. You were explaining why you were here. So, and we're also talking about purpose and you surviving the surgery because you will have that purpose and you'll stay committed to come back. Keep in mind, again, it's a limited time here, so why not come and, have a good time and explore the rest of the world and see things you haven't seen or whatever, because it's going to happen anyway. And I think you also feel it's eternity in front of you, that we never actually die, right? Just our vessels. You know why you're here and from them, but then you said, I have no purpose. What are you thinking there? Kind of part 2, part 3, or at least the next chapter of your life?
Well, I mean, they want us to make a difference. They want us to make an impact on the world, help make positive changes in the world. But how on earth do you go about that? I have no idea.
You're doing it right now.
I don't know how to affect things on a large scale.
You're doing it right now.
I suppose you're right.
Yeah, you're doing it right now on the podcast. You did it on Coast, and when you come back and you got all of your people over there with your blog and all that, absolutely.
I've heard people say, in documentaries and on TV and stuff, why don't the aliens communicate with us and tell us what we're supposed to do? They do. There's been thousands, hundreds of thousands of voices throughout our history that have tried to tell us, and we just don't listen. Anything that I would say has been said before, probably by countless others. It's just to see, to know the changes we have to make and to not be able to affect those changes is very heartbreaking and frustrating. And, certainly can't do that for a living. You'd be the crazy guy on the corner with a sign,
I tell you, I'm just, it's really, really now, really, really hitting me. It's like, man, I really hope that you find between now and then we gotta get you some purpose there. And maybe just bottom line, it is to come back to go, hey, everybody, thank you for helping me come back again, because really that's what this is about, right? Is you want to tell all just in case something happens, and before that was going to be the case. But now here's that hope. I remember asking you, is there anything? And you said, well, there is a possible cure, a surgery. Boom. We got on it, right? So I want you to pull through just for the people that have helped to get you there, to pull you through, just so you can come on the other side and wave that flag. Hey, victory is mine,
Yeah.
and then go from there. So how far away are we from that with you? Are you 50% like wanting to stay, or just into a point where you're not sure?
I mean, yeah, I do want to stay. I, want to see my girls. I don't want to keep living the way I've been living for the past, year. It's just been very difficult and isolated, and you know, uh, spending all this time alone facing my own death has not been fun.
No, no.
And it's, I think it's emotionally damaged me in a lot of ways. It's like I don't feel anything anymore except sadness. That's a hard habit to break when you get into the habit of feeling a certain way, um, like just feeling constant stress and sadness, and then you go through your day and you have moments where you realize like there's nothing. I have no reason to feel sad or stressed right now, but I feel that way anyway because it's just become a habit. You know, um, so I've got to break those habits. Which the easiest way to break a habit is to learn a new one. Yeah, so I'm trying to get in the habit of being cheerful and forward looking, which I think is a important factor with anybody with any surgery is to be go into it as positive and forward looking as possible.
Informant. What you just heard has never been heard anywhere else. This is Connie Willis, the podcast. Informant. Learn more about Connie, her guests, and be sure to join her private membership shows, Blue Rock Talk and Connie After Dark, at ConnieWillis.com. Whistleblower.